ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you so much for joining this evening special session, Amrit Snan with Srimad Bhagavatam. We are going to recite one very, very wonderful and very powerful verse from the second chapter of the first canto, and this is 1.2.6. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. So I am going to recite the verse three times, and after that I will request any three devotees to recite the verse. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti adokshaje ahaitu kiya pratihatta yayatma suprasidati. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktiradokshje ahaitu kiya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktiradokshje ahaitu kiya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. Hare Krishna. Can I
Hare
request
Krishna.
devotees to recite the verse, please?
Hare Krishna. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktiradokshje ahaitukya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम्स। सवै पुंसां परो धर्मो यतो भक्तिरधोक्षजे अहेतुकी प्रतिहता ययात्मासु प्रसीदति।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna, beta.
सवै पुंसं परो धर्मो यतो भक्तिरधोक्षजे अहैतुकी अप्रतिहता ययात्मासु प्रसीदति। हरे कृष्णा।
Yes, thank you, beta. Very nice. Saha, that. Why? Certainly. Pumsam, for the mankind. Paraha, sublime. Dharma, occupation. Yataha, by which. Bhakti, devotional service. Adokshaje, unto the transcendence. Ahaituki, causeless. Apratihata, unbroken. Jaya, by which. Atma, the self. Suprasidati, completely satisfied. Translation: the supreme occupation dharma for all humanity is that by which man can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Can I request anyone devotee to read the purport?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat
Just
Pranam.
you can read, Prabhu, few lines from the purport.
Okay.
Yeah.
In
I'll
this
tell you where to
statement,
stop, Prabhu. Start.
okay. In this statement, Sri Sutta Goswami answers the first question of the sages of Naimisharanya. The sages asked him to summarize the whole range of revealed scriptures and present the most essential part so that fallen people or the people in general might easily take it up. The Vedas prescribe two different types of occupation for human beings. One is called Pravritti Marga, or the path of sense enjoyment, and the other is called Nivritti Marg, or the path of renunciation. The path of enjoyment is inferior, and the path of sacrifice for the supreme cause is superior. The material existence of the living being is a deceased condition of actual life. Actual life is spiritual existence or Brahma Bhuta existence, where life is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Material existence is temporary, illusory, and full of miseries. There is no happiness at all. There is just the futile attempt to get rid of the miseries, and temporary cessation of misery is falsely called happiness.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. So, thank you, Suresh Prabhu. So, this is a very beautiful verse, very important verse, very powerful verse. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshaje ahaitukya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. So, we will very briefly discuss 6 words from this verse. From the first line, Savai pumsam paro dharmo, we will discuss the word dharma. From the second line, we will discuss the 2 words bhakti and adokshaje. Third line, we will discuss again 2 words abhaituki apratihata. And from the fourth line, we will discuss 1 word which is suprasidati. And we should remember that this verse answers the first 2 questions of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is 1, what is the ultimate good for every human being? And second, what is the essence of all the scriptures? So now Sutta Goswami says, Savai pumsam paro dharmo, that the supreme good for everyone, or the essence of all the scriptures, is to yato bhakti radokshaje, is to render devotional service unto Lord Krishna. But such a devotional service should be unmotivated and uninterrupted. Ahaituki apratihata. And if you do so, yayatma suprasiditi, then our soul will be completely satisfied. So now from the first line, let's look at the meaning of the word dharma. What is the meaning of dharma? So here we should understand that dharma or religion does not mean when we say Hindu, Muslim, or Sikh, etc. It's not something related to the rituals. It's not something related to the sentiments, emotions, etc. Dharma means something which we cannot separate from one's existence. For example, what is the dharma of a fire? Dharma of the fire is to provide heat. If the fire doesn't provide heat, then it's not a fire. Or we can understand that we cannot separate fire, we cannot separate heat from the fire. If the heat is separated from the fire, then it's no more fire. What is the dharma of water? Dharma of water is to provide liquidity. If the liquidity is not there, then the substance cannot be called water. So similarly, we have to see what is that one thing which is common with every human being, which is integral to every human being, without which any human being cannot survive. So the one thing which is common with every human being, intrinsic to human being, is the service. That's our eternal nature. If we look at the few examples, we can understand that everyone is serving someone else. Look at in the family, the parents, they take care of the kids, give them the education, food, and so many other things. And in return, the kids, they serve the parents by respecting them, by obeying them. Look at the examples of the office. Office, we serve our master, our bosses, and the bosses in turn, they serve us by giving us employment and money. Business community, they serve the customers and the customers serve them by paying them the money. Government, they serve the praja, the population, by maintaining law and order, and the population, the citizens, they serve the government by paying the taxes, maintaining or following the orders of the government. Go to the schools, students, they serve the teachers by following their guidance, and teachers, they serve the students by educating them. And if you say that there is somebody who has, for example, gone to the Himalayas, right? He is not in one of these categories. So then Bhagavatam says everyone has to serve his or her own body. Our body has the need to eat, the body has need to drink water. And even if somebody is not drinking water, somebody is not eating, still when I get itching on my body, I have to scratch my body. So that's a service to my body. So what we see that in this world, every human being serves someone else. There is no human being who is not serving someone else. Or if there is someone who is not serving others, that means he must be serving his or her own body. But what happens while we are busy in serving everyone around us, we forget to serve our Supreme Father, who is the Lord Himself. Lord Krishna says, Aham Pitamasya Jagto Mata Dhata Pitame. Krishna says, I am the father and mother of every being. Krishna says, Aham Bij Pradap Pita. Krishna says, I am the seed-giving father of everyone. So if Krishna is our Supreme Father and Mother, that means we are all His children. So we have to reflect on ourselves and see that during the day, how much time we spend in serving our Father. Father doesn't need our service. Like, for example, we don't expect anything from our children. Rather, we have given them everything. But simply, it's simply a symptom of love. And when we look at our daily routine, we will realize that we either don't spend any time in serving our Supreme Father and Mother, or we spend very little time in serving our Supreme Father, which is who is Krishna. It is just like a child. Imagine you grow up, your son, and he gets a very good education, he gets a very good job, gets married, have a nice bank balance, the life is fully settled. But then he gets busy serving his family, serving his office boss, serving his friends and all. And he doesn't have any time for his parents. So he doesn't have any time to serve his parents. So that's not the good thing from the child perspective. While the child is busy in serving so many people, child must find out some time to serve his parents. So that's what the Bhagavatam says, that Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo. What is our supreme religion? And I explained to you what is the meaning of religion. Religion means service. And the next word is Bhakti. Bhakti, commonly people, they translate Bhakti as a devotion. But Prabhupada says Bhakti is a devotion, but we should understand it's not simply emotions, it's not simply a ritual, it's not a sentiment. Bhakti means action. Action is involved in Bhakti. In Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, verse number 2, when Krishna says, Raj Vidya Raj Guyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam, Pratyakshavagamam Dharmam, Susukhum Kartum Avyayam. So Krishna says, this is the king of knowledge, what I am giving you. This will give you the happiness, blah, 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 so many things. But finally he says, Kartum. Kartum means we have to do. So some action is involved. Or we can say, Bhakti means service. And service with love. Bhakti is a symptom of love. And love is exhibited through service. If I say I love my kid, then how would you know that I love my kid? When you see that I'm busy in serving my kid, meeting with all his needs, right? Without any self-interest, then you will understand, okay, yes, I love my kid because I'm serving my kid. So whenever, this is a small example, and we can reflect on even other examples, that if I say that I love someone, that means I will be doing something for that person who I love. Right? So service is, again Prabhupada says, service is not simply thinking about Krishna. Right? Before we can think about Krishna, we have to serve Krishna by hearing about him and by chanting his glories. So that's why in our scriptures, before remembrance, the two things will always come, which is Shravanam, Kirtanam. So the second word, Bhakti. Bhakti means the action. It means service. Service with love. And the third word is Adokshaje. Now we have to serve. Right? Our supreme occupation is to serve. But we are going to serve whom? The Bhagavatam says, Adokshaje. Lord Krishna has got innumerable names, and one of those names is Adokshaja. Adha means beyond, Aksha means eyes. It means Krishna is beyond our eyes. Prabhupada said Krishna is beyond our senses. We cannot understand Krishna through our material senses. And why can't we do so? Because our material senses are imperfect. I can't see what's happening behind me. I can't hear the sound of the pin when it drops on the floor. I can't taste potassium cyanide. I cannot touch the electricity. So my every sense has got a limited capacity to perform the activities, and it's imperfect also. And who is Krishna? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnameva Vashishyate. Krishna is completely perfect. So the imperfect senses cannot understand someone who is completely perfect. We can't look at even the sun, which is just an eye of Krishna. At around the noon time, if you want to look at the look at the sun, which is millions and millions of miles away, still we can't look at it. Right? So imagine, how can we understand Krishna through our material senses? Bhagavatam has given us so many examples where people try to understand Krishna through their material senses, material intelligence. They fail to understand. We have the example of Duryodhana. He thought Krishna is simply an ordinary being, right? And he tried to capture Krishna when Krishna went to his palace as a peace messenger before the start of Kurukshetra battle. We have the example of Kamsa. He made a plan to kill Krishna, or the eighth son of Devaki, without realizing that Krishna himself is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ravana, he stole Sita Mata, thinking that these two boys are just they are just ordinary princes. Similarly, we have the example of Shishupala. Shishupala, he insulted Krishna 100 times and Krishna tolerated. And the best example we can get from the scriptures is Brahmaji, the first living entity in this world. He himself got bewildered when he saw Krishna playing with the cowherd boys, when he saw Krishna eating food from their plate. So he himself got bewildered. Is this my Lord? Is it the same Lord who I have been worshipping, who I have been meditating, who I have been serving him? Then to test Krishna, he stole the cowherd boys and the cows. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first verse, third line, we have been given the warning. Shukdev Goswami says, Muhyanti yat Surya. When we approach Krishna to serve him, we should remember that even the great personalities get bewildered when it comes to understanding Krishna. Muhyanti means bewildered. Yat Surya. Surya means great saints, sages, demigods. Nobody can understand Krishna. Brahmaji performed 1,000 years of austerity, meditated upon Krishna. Right? But he could understand only one thing, that I cannot understand Krishna. So that's the meaning of Adoshaje. We should remember that Krishna is beyond our sense perception. If we want to understand Krishna, we can understand Krishna only through Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. And by Krishna's mercy, if he chooses to reveal himself to us. So the fourth word is Ahaituki. So Bhagavatam says our supreme business is to render service unto Krishna. But there are two conditions while we render the service. The one, it should be ahetuki, without any motivation. Second, it should be without any interruption. Ahetuki means without any motivation. It means we shouldn't have any motive when we approach Krishna to serve him. A son should be serving his parents without expecting anything from the parents. That's a sign of pure love. Our Rupa Goswami has said, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Shuddha Goswami, our Sanatana Goswami, when he describes Uttam Bhakti, what is the first class Bhakti? The very first thing, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Anya means other, Abhilasha means desires. Shunya means we should have zero desires when we approach Krishna. And if we have any desire, to get fulfilled while we approach Krishna, while serving Krishna, then that bhakti will not last for a very long time. And we have so many examples of so many people who approach Krishna to get their desires fulfilled. So their desires get fulfilled, so their enthusiasm, devotion slackens, comes down, or if the desires don't get fulfilled, then they stop serving Krishna. And we have the examples in scriptures, the devotees who served Krishna with motivation. Right? Gajendra, initially he served Krishna with motivation. But by Krishna's mercy, he turned out to be a devotee. Right? Krishna liberated him. Right? Dhruv Maharaj, initially there was a motivation to serve Krishna. But when he had a darshan of Krishna, the motivation was lost. Right? We have the examples of so many demigods. Whenever they are in danger, they will approach Brahmaji. Why? For their own protection. Not because they have the pure love for Krishna. On the other side, we have so many devotees, example of so many devotees who served Krishna without any motivation. For example, Prahlad Maharaj, no motivation. Hanumanji, no motivation. Gopis, no motivation. Arjuna, no motivation. Yeah. So that's a ahetuke. So we should remember, if there is any motivation to serve Krishna, then we won't be able to continue to serve Krishna for a long time. Or if we continue, we won't have the enthusiasm and determination to serve Krishna. And the next thing is very interesting, apratihata. Apratihata means our bhakti should not be interrupted by any external circumstances. Now, external circumstances, on this point itself, we can have at least 15-20 minutes of discussion, that what are various external circumstances due to which our devotion unto Krishna, our devotion service gets hampered. So the first thing is our desires and attachment. Ravana, he was too much obsessed to enjoy Sita. So he couldn't turn to be a devotee of Lord Rama, although so many people advised him. Shukracharya, he was probating Bali Maharaj just to keep the power with Bali Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj turned to be a devotee, Shukracharya not turned out to be a devotee. We have social pressure and the duties. Like Karna wanted to express his loyalty to Duryodhana, so couldn't be a devotee. Bhishma wanted to remain loyal to the Kauravas. Right? So inside their devotion was there, but he has to tolerate so many injustices. Right? He couldn't speak openly. Indra, he had a fear of losing his position, right? And then he offended Krishna. We have the examples of the devotees like who had excessive engagement in rituals, right? For example, Prachetas. So initially they were not the pure devotees, right? Later on they turned out to be the pure devotees. Fear, insecurity like a Hiranyakashipu. Right? So due to that also, the devotees cannot perform the devotion service. Then another reason is the external hardships. When we are sick, bhakti gets interrupted. Right? Family situations, people are not favorable in family, then bhakti gets interrupted. Right? And the most important reason of the interruption in our devotion service is only one thing, only one main thing. And any devotee has got any thought, what is that one thing? The topmost thing due to which our bhakti is not uninterrupted.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Many times, many people, once they get married, there is a opposition from the other side, and then their bhakti gets totally interrupted. And though they want to serve, they find themselves helpless unless they are extremely devoted.
Yeah. So, thank you, Prabhu. The most important obstruction in our devotion service is lack of continuous association with the devotees. We should remember, as soon as we stop associating with the devotees in person, yeah, and devotee Bhagavatam, we won't be able to continue with our devotions journey for a very long time. Or if we feel that we are able to continue, then I can guarantee you there you are missing a lot of rasa which we can get while performing devotion service along with the devotees. And it's not with us, it's even in case of Lord Krishna. The Lord Krishna appears in this material world. Why? Just to enjoy his pastimes with his pure devotees. Right? So even Krishna also enjoys associating with his devotees. So we can imagine how much important it is for us to associate with the devotees. Right? And the last couple of points, very briefly, Suprasidati. So not couple of points. I think we are left with only one point. Suprasidati. So Savai Pumsam Paro Dharma, the supreme religion, is what? Bhakti Dokshaje, to serve Krishna. And service should be unmotivated and uninterrupted. And the last line, Sudha Goswami gives us a result of serving Krishna. He said, Ya Yatma Suprasidati. If we render uninterrupted, unmotivated devotion service unto Krishna, we should remember service unto Krishna, not to anyone else. Then only, Ya Yatma, our soul will be Suprasidati, completely satisfied. Imagine there is a fish, right? You give a very luxurious food to fish in a golden plate. You decorate the fish with lot of jewelry. You keep the fish in a pond which is made of diamond, but there is no water in it. You take the fish out of the water. Do you think a fish will be happy? No. Fish will start suffering as soon as the fish is out of the water. So that is our condition also. We have been suffering in the past, we are suffering now, and we will continue to suffer in the future if we don't follow the instructions of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is to serve Krishna. And one more thing we should remember, that if I give you the example of water, that what is the dharma of water? To provide liquidity. If the water changes its form, if the water changes its form, means water turns into the ice, or water turns into the vapors. So the liquidity is not there and the nature of water has changed. So similarly in our case, if we don't serve Krishna, then what will happen? Our nature will change. Or as it is, we can say our nature has changed. See, what is the nature of Krishna? The nature of Krishna is Sat Chit Ananda. He is eternal, he is full of knowledge, and is full of bliss. And we are part and parcel of Krishna. So we should also have the same qualities, right? Not in the same quantity. Like you take a drop in the ocean, drop from the ocean. Ocean is salty. The drop from the ocean will also be salty. So we are part and parcel of Krishna. We should be full of bliss. Right? But are we full of bliss? We have to reflect on this point. Are we full of bliss? Have we experienced the bliss for a long time in the past? Do you think tomorrow we'll be full of bliss? No, right? Because we are greatly missing Krishna in our life. So that's the meaning of Suprasidati. If at all we feel that even after performing years and years of devotion service, serving Krishna, our soul is not satisfied, that means we should go back to the Bhagavatam, this particular verse, and look at only these two things. Have we been serving Krishna without any motivation? And did we continue to serve Krishna even in adverse situations? Has our bhakti been service unto Krishna been uninterrupted? And you will realize that one of the two things or both the things are missing. So anyway, in conclusion, I would like to say that having heard that our supreme duty is to serve Krishna, we should try to give more and more space to Krishna in our life. Bhagavatam doesn't say that we should neglect our varnashrama dharma. Bhagavatam doesn't say we should neglect our duties. But Bhagavatam says we should add Krishna to our life. We should follow the instructions of Krishna while we perform our duties. We should make Krishna the center of our life. Yeah? The students, they will understand better. When we draw a circle, we use the compass. And compass has to be in the center. And if we hold the compass firmly in the center, then the circle will be very nice circle. But if the compass is not held properly, compass is shaking, then the circle will be disturbed. So this applies to all kinds of circles we have in our life. We have the family circle, we have the office circle, we have the business circle. All these circles are there. Yeah. All those circles, Krishna should be in the center. Krishna is the root of everything. Bhagavata says, Yatha Taurora Mula Nishechena. Krishna is the root of everything. If we water the root, then the branches, twigs, leaves, fruits, etc., that all will be taken care automatically or with little efforts. So in conclusion, today what we did today, there was an overview of the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. Following that, we recited 1.2.6, and then we had a discussion on that verse. We discussed 6 things. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo, we discussed Dharma. Then we discussed Bhakti. Then we discussed Adokshaja. We discussed Ahetuki. Then Apratihata. And finally, we discussed Suprasidati. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate your time and attention. Vancha kalpatrupyase kripa sindhu bhavache patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. So Krishna willing, we will meet again tomorrow. Hare Krishna.